Hey, how's it
Hey,
going? Uh, I know it's been a little bit, but here we are. How you
well,
doing, man?
wow, doing the whole life thing, man. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, well, where to start? Start.
I mean, you were gonna update me on some things going on, I think.
Yeah, man, some crazy stuff at work. So working with the Navy, pretty
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we were always taught like reference based, right?
Yeah.
That sounds dumb, but it's like if you're gonna say you're gonna do, if you say you have to do something, or you're gonna do something, or it should be done this way, there usually is something written about it. They say the old joke like there's a procedure to flush the toilet, but yeah. So I nuclear repair coordinator, and I do the scheduling for shit
Yeah.
down here. And sometimes that requires me to go into shift work for it's like supervising maintenance and stuff. Usually we cover nights.
Yeah.
Actually, I usually request to take nights because it's
Yeah.
a 12-hour night shift of unsupervised. Go tell people to go mechanic,
Yeah.
shoot the shit for a while. And then how it's supposed to be is we have two civilians that work alongside us that
Mhm.
technically they have more actual power or like are actual supervisors, right? Because I'm I'm only qualified to like write paperwork and maintenance schedules. I'm
Okay.
not actually like trained to go down and do the work, which is a weird system how they have it, but they always kind of lump us in with like the supervisors.
Okay.
But really, like if I wasn't a mechanic beforehand, I would have no fucking idea what these guys are doing, you know?
Mhm.
But they lump us in with the supervisors all the time. So they have these two civilians that are like, I've been doing this for 35 years. I could tell you how this is run up and down.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know this, the DoD civilians can deny overtime. So like any hours over 40 a week or any hours on the weekend.
They
Even if it doesn't push them over 40. But if it's on a weekend, they can deny it. Have to say no.
they can just say no, I'm not coming in.
Yeah. And
Oh.
then so they were so one of the civilians was doing that. And the military guys were like, well, our bosses were like, hey, military guys, guess what? You get to cover down. We're like, that's pretty dumb, but
Mhm.
okay. And it went on for a little bit, and then it got to the point where this civilian guy was like, I will not work a weekend. The end. It's pretty shitty. Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
And we try to bring this up, like, hey, this is an issue. Either we need to like find another civilian, like a third civilian that will cover a weekend, or something, or
Yeah. Something's got to give.
yeah. Uh, and then my boss, my LPO, or my LCPO, my chief, brought it up to our AS or APSN, which is he runs all of NRMD down here for project stuff, but
Okay.
he's a civilian. So like after my chief, so after one person above my chief, they're all civilian,
Okay.
which is really weird, like actual civilian. Uh, and this kind of went back and forth of like, hey, like we'll figure something out. Like first track your hours, then we'll just say whoever has the least amount of hours worked will do the overtime. We tried that. Civilians still did not take overtime. And then they're like, write a watch bill. And then we have documentation that he said he wouldn't come into work on days he's scheduled to work. We tried. Still didn't work. So then my boss was like, I need this in writing somewhere that says we need to do this or someone else needs to handle it, right?
Mhm.
And essentially, he got told, my chief got told, get fucked, figure it out. And
Okay.
then the next day we had this brand new baby chief come in, or he had just got to our office. He came in and said, "Hey, I got told to relieve you today. Fired." And they had a turnover that day.
To your chief?
Yeah,
What?
by a civilian. A civilian directed him to be relieved.
What on earth?
Yeah, and then it blew up into this whole thing. So my chief is now filing a IG, the internal investigators.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're he's filing a claim through them, big Navy, about it. They have it on like not on record, but they have multiple people that were in the conference room that this civilian said, because he was like, fine, if we have to take all this extra time, have it written down, like put our requirements or like our responsibilities as NRCs in stone somewhere. That says this is what we are responsible. So right now it's like loosely interpreted as pretty much whatever this dude says.
Mm-hmm.
Acquired us a lot of extra jobs, which I mean, it's the Navy. You got to do work, but like,
Sure.
I don't like to do the work of it's always been this way or this is the way.
Yeah.
This is what I want at this moment, and then that changes in an hour or a day or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now he's typing up his own like standard operating procedure for like what our responsibilities are, and filing a claim against this guy. And now we have a new chief that doesn't know how to not be a Navy chief, like an E7 kind of chief. So yeah, man, that's what I'm dealing with at work right now. Cause like,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's pretty good.
It's intense.
Yeah, this chief is a 10-year, the chief that first, he's at 9 years right now, 9.5 years. He gets out at 10 years exactly. He has it scheduled to get out of the Navy at 10 years exactly.
Oh, wow.
Shit yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm getting out.
It's fucking stupid, man.
It is stupid.
But that's what's going on with me. I have 2 boats now. And stuff. How's your life?
Boats?
Yeah. Not like boats. Like I own 2 of the boats on the water.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm dealing with double of that work because of all the
Because
bullshit.
of all this? Wow. What
It's a good time.
about non-work stuff? How's Allie? How's the pregnancy?
Oh, dude, it's actually not bad at all. She's everyone kind of asked me like, has she had any weird cravings or anything? So like, baby healthy. They're kind of worried about her heart. She's kind of small. She had a couple of instances where she would faint. She fainted, and then
really?
Every now and then she started feeling her heart rate. Like, are you under the?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
she started feeling her heart rate like go through the roof. Like I'm seeing like we went out to dinner just to get dressed up and go out.
Yeah.
And her heart rate ended up like she was sitting there eating dinner. Her heart rate went to like 110 or something like that, 114.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing? But sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. So she's getting a heart monitor tomorrow,
Okay.
Tuesday, for like 2 days, and they're gonna check her out. They think it's just because she's light little girl.
Yeah.
Emerson's doing fine. You know, she's there feeling her kick all the time, and
Yeah.
I get videos of it now. Now, at first, she was like all excited, and now she can start feeling her hit her ribs and stuff. And I was like, it's only gonna get worse, man.
Yeah.
But other than that, not bad. Oh, look at the next friendo.
Oh shit.
Get your mic on there.
His name's not Mike.
Okay, you're right. But yeah, she's
Oh my god.
Fair warning, we're live right now.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
live.
Live is probably a strong word.
That's fair. Whoa, it's Victor Angelo Vasari.
Hey,
What are
man.
you fucking wearing?
What am I wearing? A shirt. What are you wearing?
Yeah.
A fucking hoodie?
Looks like only a
Like
hoodie.
it's
Same, I
not
guess.
June?
I'm in a house.
I'm also in a house.
I got independent temperature control.
Jeez.
Oof. All right, you got me there. All right. Yeah, we were just catching up real quick before we actually start on the stuff today, because I feel like
Yeah, okay.
Zach was talking a little about life and stuff.
Work's all stupid and Allie's all pregnant.
Yeah,
Pretty much life right there, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
How have you been, Vic?
Been all right. I'm
Yeah.
hanging in there.
That's good.
Yeah. How
I'm here.
Good.
I've started trying to learn how to play guitar.
Oh, it's easy.
Good.
You just do the thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I just learned the pentatonic scale, so I'm
Oh,
not
you got it.
I'm not
You're
very
like-
far along.
So you're
You're
already
being
there.
ironic, but you're basically done.
um, yeah, just basically prototype a guitar and a child. That's basically been my life right now.
There's
How's
only
the
one
man?
thing worse than a rapist.
uh, I I am in my second semester of school. I'm like 2 weeks behind on homework because before you judge me, you uptight stick in the mud.
What do you think I'm gonna judge you on?
No, not you, him.
I'm judging
He
you on your
immediately
2 weeks behind on
started-
homework.
He immediately started judging
Okay,
me.
one for all the people that could be dink in this group right now, it's probably you. All right, makes sense.
Conceded.
No, keep going. 2 weeks. Come on.
Because out of the blue, the Navy decided to send me to school that was a week long, 10 hours a day with not including the homework that I had to do, and then I had a shift sleep schedule. So that's why I
What
got
class are you?
behind.
What class are you taking?
College algebra and earth science, general earth science.
You taking Thomas
Your
Edison?
degree?
Yeah. What you say, green?
No, what is your degree?
Biology currently, but I'm trying to shift over to either agricultural science or earth science.
Kind of dope.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm also at Thomas Edison. All the work is homework, Gabe.
Yes, yeah. So 2 weeks of all the things.
2 weeks of the work.
Yeah, 2 weeks of school work.
Did they let you turn in late work?
I mean, I haven't been asking. I've just been turning it in.
Oh, okay. Well,
Usually professors will post like a late work policy
yeah.
in their intro shit.
I haven't
going
bothered
to-
to read that.
I'm at Excelsior, and they just revamped their late work policy, and it's pretty much you have 1 day to turn it in late for minus some amount of credits, and after that, case by case basis. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Weird. I feel like it should be up to the professor. You
Yeah.
should definitely read that intro stuff, by the way, Gabe. It's actually usually pretty helpful with not only how the professor is, but the timeline of the semester as well. It'll help you sort of mentally plan out what you need to focus on at what points, right? It'll probably help you know when you should start working on the final and do stuff like that.
Yeah. I
Just
should
really good for scheduling.
look more at that. I looked at the syllabus and the course calendar when I first started and was not impressed with the one compared to the other class I'm taking and the one I took last semester. So I was just kind of turned off by that professor. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking technical writing right now or something like that.
gross.
Should be easy.
Yeah, it's
I haven't taken that one yet, but it's really
Okay.
just I feel like it's QA school -1.
not even close. For Excelsior, it is last week we wrote a procedure for making scrambled eggs, and this week we made a picture for that procedure.
Nice.
What were your Q steps? Sorry, your Q points.
Bruh, easiest 100 I've ever gotten. No
I feel
shit,
like the-
actual 100.
I feel like the Q point is not burning them,
Yeah,
but the craftsman verification is that there are no shells in the eggs.
I like that. Dude, I want to bash my head into a wall. These guys, the first. So the one thing I
Requires
don't like about
3
college,
MM2s at 0.2 man hours each.
the one thing I don't like. Speaking of college, I don't mind college classes and stuff because education bullshit. But all of these online colleges are hey, guess what? This total class that you have you have 30 kids in your class that all are from across the country. Let's make a mandatory group project that you have to get with, I don't know, 5 random people. And it's just no, I don't want to take any of these classes with other people. That's why I'm going to online school.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
off,
not
all
great.
of you random
Well, you got to
people.
think that we have a lot of experience working in groups and dealing with group friction, which is what group projects are designed to help you do,
Mhm.
right? It's just as much about the experience as it is the work. For example, we did plenty of work in that one refit, and I hated your fucking guts.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Oh man, are you talking about the days versus nights one? Or are you talking about
The days versus nights one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
That was
December
brutal.
of 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PRBT.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Repressed memories.
I'll be right back.
Doubt it.
Yeah, man. But that's my big issue with the college courses right now. Just because it's like they're clearly sorry, itch in my ear.
Itchy.
Clearly force cooperation. Because like with you guys do discussions at Thomas Edison?
Yeah, we do like discussion forum posts.
Yeah, that's what we do. And they're like exactly. They're just forced. I think it was last week or something like that. Or no, not last week. When I took a physics class, right?
Yeah.
And the discussions was like a legitimate just problem. Just like a physics problem to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Solve it. You put some words in it. It was like, explain why this happens and then give the number or something.
Yep.
Right? So everyone's initial response was like all the same, or like some kid got it wrong, but like close enough, got the explanation or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, for like your replies, you have to reply to two people.
Yeah.
Sexy background. Sorry. Into the screen. It's like, how the hell do you reply to that? It's just an answer. It's just an answer. It's not like you throw your fucking opinion in there like, man, I think you're wrong. No, you got a textbook.
Yeah,
Karen,
it's interesting with like, it's easier. We had one was like discuss how you would have decided on two different thought processes on how the Earth formed back in the day if you were back then, and then respond to the post. It's like, okay, so you can sort of get behind that where like you can have more of a discussion, more of like a subjective or an opinion there. But like when it's, hey, yeah, fill out these two math problems and post your answers, and then respond to these math problems. Like,
like the forum post?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now.
For math?
Yeah, I know, for physics. So like,
why do you do it for math too?
Oh, dude, I hate it because at least physics, right? 'Cause usually it's like explain the principle behind it or whatever, and it's like my physics class or physics 2 did a lot of like electrical stuff. So we were right hand ruling it and everything.
Ugh.
But yeah. But we were talking about how like particles interact in different fields, moving in different directions and stuff, which you could like explain. You could get a pretty wordy explanation out of it, and it's like reply, and it's like you said the same thing I said because it's the same answer that came out of the textbook. Like, what
I think it's all maple syrup and pine cones. Like,
how am I supposed to make this a 300 fucking word reply when it's like you're out of your mind?
Yeah, that's weird.
But then you would have those people that were like, no, you're wrong. This is why you're right. I found it on this website. It's like, this out of our text that we both have.
Must be nice to have a textbook.
It was online.
Still, must be online. Nice to have an online textbook. I only got that for my algebra. My general earth sciences, it's just like, figure it out.
Yeah, the technical writing is like...
Textbook.
What'd you call me?
Textbook.
Oh.
Have you guys done any of the labs yet? Any like lab stuff?
No.
Oh, I did physics. So I took physics 2 and I did a physics 1 lab. They exempted my physics 1 class.
Yeah.
All the labs were like simulations on the computer.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Someone was telling me, I think
physics. Sure that I have to get mailed my lab kits and do.
I think my physics 2 gets mailed to me. Physics 1 or my chem lab's gonna get mailed to me.
Yeah.
Physics 1 though was like, here's a string now, or here's a string like a ball on a string. Move it around and see what happens. And then like it would print out this like huge ass chart of like all this crazy shit. It's like, I don't know.
Oh my god, momentum.
Pendulums, dude. Fucking wild.
The only thing I really have an issue with is the general education classes.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who take those who I'm not sure how they signed up for them. How they managed to make a computer function in that way.
I don't like to judge. I like to judge. That's how I am. But there are people like sometimes I worry that I don't do enough in these classes. I'm like, that's kind of short. That's kind of like bare bones. And then some dude, I remember this is physics 2 class where there's like a minimum word count, right? And his response would be one sentence.
Yeah.
Like minimum words would be like 150 to 300 depending on what it goes for the week. Hit one 12-word sentence just and it didn't even revolve around like what we were talking
it just
about.
makes
I'm like,
no sense.
are you think you're in the wrong class maybe? And it was like recurring over like the last 3 weeks of the course, and I was like, oh my dude. Like,
It's interesting to get like a stream of consciousness from someone who doesn't think.
You guys pay way more attention to the other people that you're in classes with than I do, because I have no memories of anybody that I've like been in the same class with.
Gabriel Joseph.
No,
I
never.
sit in an office for like 6 to 8 hours a day and do nothing.
Why don't you just
Except-
go home?
See, my previous conversation with Gabriel about how shit my job is right now, I can't.
Oh, I just go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably
Look
should.
around and I'm like, is anybody else here? And I'm like, no.
That would usually work, except I sit with the only 6 chiefs in all of NRMD.
Oof.
Stupid of you.
Yeah.
No, not good of me.
No, stupid of you.
Oh,
Can you get all 6 in at once, or?
it took some work, but since I've been here for like a year now, so yeah, I got it.
I'll say the issue with me has always been getting like the body logistics around, not the actual like penetration.
I mean, that's pretty typical, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about today as like a step back into maybe starting to do this, since we're all kind of on shore duty now and I'm moved into my house and not in weird schedules, still in weird schedules, but is, you know, keeping in contact with friends, especially when you don't live near each other, and how modern technology and modern expectations can hinder or help or put pressure or relieve pressure from maintaining friendships. Kind of a broad topic, I guess.
Yeah.
Friends.
I
I mean,
like my idea better.
you did have a really good
I said
idea.
that. I did say that.
He
I
did say
don't remember what it was.
that. Which anthropomorphic things were more fuckable?
Oh,
Household item. Household appliances.
Yeah.
fridge.
Toaster.
Fridge.
Turn it off. Question answered.
That's it. Done. I think a lot of it has to do with, at least for me, seeing like a lot of friendship stuff has to do with age. Not like you get older and you don't friends with stuff. I feel like as you get older, at least in my specific case of life, your life just gets more hectic. Or at least for me, it's only been like that. So, good example is I have an 11-year-old sister-in-law who's staying with me right now. She's on summer vacation. All she does all day, like whether we have to pick her up and like we're going outside, play on her phone. And all she does is talk about her best friends, her friends. They're not friends anymore. They are friends. Could be girl drama, but. And I remember being younger, like friends. That was everything, and like all you did was talk to friends. When you wanted to get out of where you were at, you went to friends' house. Now, as I get older, I now have a house, a wife, right, who's essentially my only best friend. We're having a kid coming up. Like, it just becomes, I don't want to say a hassle. It almost, it's like a balancing game. Like, I would love to talk to my friends. Like, I want to go see how Will is doing. I want to talk to Lance. He's he's gone. I want to see how Gabe's doing, but you're, in your own place handling your own stuff, which being in my situation, I assume talking to other guys that have kids and stuff, I also assume they're just as busy, right? And I don't know. That seems to be the challenge for me, at least.
You know, you can still email Lance.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that. I
I haven't crossed I'm not
It 100%
love
crossed my
Lance.
mind getting his email from Shy and getting like Nico's email from Sash,
Yeah.
but I don't know why not.
And I
Well,
guess
40 years ago, you couldn't,
It's true.
right? Not only could you not email someone underway, you couldn't email or text them at all. You could probably call them if you had their phone number, but like, someone who lived across the country, your time zones are pretty different. Realistically, you'd have to like schedule a phone call. So all you could really do is send them a letter.
Yeah, so that's also kind of what made me think about maybe it's just a shift in perspective, or like we're so used to technology now, like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like if you didn't communicate with someone on a regular basis, like you were still friends because you couldn't communicate with them on a regular basis.
mhm.
Whereas now we have that luxury and that capability, and I feel like for me personally, it makes me feel a little guilty when I don't reach out. Like for instance, Lance being underway,
Mhm.
but
Like
like you said,
the opportunities are more available.
yeah,
You feel worse when you don't seize those opportunities.
yeah, but like you said, it's still a huge balancing act of time management because there's still so much going on, and you have to allot that time to stay connected since we have these opportunities. But
I guess through like doing these calls, right? Like we all had to sit down and pick an hour or so to, hey, I'm gonna be over here talking to some friends and doing our thing. I guess the one good thing, especially with like text messaging for us guys, it's super easy just to send a text, hell, whenever, and you don't need to reply immediately. I don't assume you will, or right.
yeah,
So it allows it to become more of the conversation gets stretched out, but it's still there, right? You can still have those like catch up moments
yeah,
versus, I guess, letters did this, but you don't always, with the advent of technology to call and face video chat and stuff.
You can communicate with a lot less intent now,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you wrote a letter or even sitting down and writing an email, right? You have to sit down and do it with text from your head to your hands and generally think about what you're going to say, right? Uh, Especially, you're not going to send someone a 30-page letter. You don't have the time to do that. So you want to make good use of your communication. Whereas with texting, um, which I guess realistically is the main difference we're talking about, right? That's the ability to send to somebody a couple of words instantaneously through whatever client you may be using is the only real difference, other than people having the ability to be called more or less all the time. Uh, but having that ability to just shoot someone 8 words, it gives you the luxury of not having to think about what you're going to say. Like you can text someone some dumb shit for no reason.
do you think that almost gives us a sense of like like a fake sense of connectedness because we have that there is that ease and that lack of thought that can be put into reaching out to somebody that like while I can easily text you and we can like even catch up like this, I don't know how you're doing on a day-to-day basis. It's not the same as if we were living there and still in each other's lives on a very intertwined scale. So do you think it helps or that it is a like a facade?
Uh, I think it can be a facade, right? The sort of concept of like indirect socialization um, and like parasociality, I guess. But of getting your interaction with other humans over distance uh, through a screen, right, is not the same as face-to-face, even if done at the same frequency and with the same uh, depth of conversation, just different. It does not quite satisfy that fucking,
Itch.
what is it, Haslow's hierarchy of needs or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, it does not satisfy that necessity for socializing.
Right there, right up there with the foot job from a girl with the psych ward grippy socks.
Yeah,
Do you think
that's at the bottom of the pyramid. That goes
Base.
below food and safety.
so the old saying that like every day was a good day, or if every day was great, there'd never be good days, right? Like you got to have bad days to have good days. I understand, like, right? Do you think the readily available availability to just talk to people wherever? I know there are certain circumstances with our friends, but like, we even said like we can still email Lance. Like, do you think that almost deters from those kind of messages, right? So like, if you receive a text like, "Hey, how's it going?" Right? Do you think that still holds the same weight as if you were like go back a couple numbers are hard decades? There it is. Wow, decades to where you receive a letter that says the same thing. Do you
Somebody
think the
sent me a
ease?
letter that said the same thing, I would be mad at them.
Yeah, for, you know,
I'm gonna send you a letter now.
Idiot.
You know what I'm saying? Does it make these kind of interactions more important? You know, where we take time out of our day to like video call, or does it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like
since the spectrum has moved due to technology, does the importance of each one of those forms of communication kind of lessen or strengthen the like friendship, the effort level that you are putting in towards that makes any sense?
I feel like for me personally, it brings me back to my thoughts on if experiences follow the laws of supply and demand, which I think without mindfulness they sort of like begin to, but if you become present again, like you can you can stray from the laws of supply and demand, you know? So like the fact that text messages are so easy to come by, it is considered less thoughtful and less real or less connected than like a letter or like this. But you can at any point be like, oh, you like a happy birthday text, a reminder from Facebook, you know, can still be a very thoughtful action if they mean it that way. So it I don't know, does it involve intent? And if they intend to be thoughtful, if they're just putting a check in the box, like, hey, happy birthday.
It's funny, you bring up like a happy birthday message for Facebook, right? Like it posts on someone's wall or whatever. You ever go on the wall of somebody who obviously doesn't use Facebook and their whole shit is just happy birthday messages throughout the years?
Yeah.
I think that's a really good identifier of people who don't actually have any real relationship with that person.
Yeah.
I think Facebook is more or less a plague.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible. Social media in general is bad.
It's odd. It seems like the more connected we try to make each other, the less human we become. I don't want to say that like super grandly, but like,
you know, it does devalue communication with other people, right? You know, if you were going to a debate, or even, you know, debating someone in a bar or any other context, that's way different than a debate on the internet, even a civilized one, because you're reduced to the content of your argument, and that's it. All you are is what you're saying. It's you know, the same sort of phenomenon as driving and getting road rage. right? When you get angry at someone on the road, you don't see a person, you see a car.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of thing, I think it does devalue communication, but it does not. I think it devalues communication overall, but it does not reduce the necessity for meaningful communication. And I think that's where a lot of people lose it, is they try and engage in meaningful communication online.
Mm-hmm.
No work, good, not the same.
Yeah.
Whether
Same.
you know it or not, like you pick up on people's body language and their attitude and all that stuff. And sometimes you might notice that somebody's doing something or acting a certain way. But even if you don't, like your subconscious still picks up on it because that's how you interact with people, you know?
I think at any point where we try to streamline the human experience, we're going to devalue it. The more you try and make it easier to achieve different things, not say like equality, but like more, the easier it is to see a waterfall that you may would have seen once in your lifetime. You can just scroll through and see waterfalls, just
Mm-hmm.
majestic fucking things. I think I saw fucking, what's the
Don't
dude's
go
name?
chasing waterfalls.
I think it's like Jordan Peterson, the
Mm-hmm.
talking about especially with porn now, like the amount of incredibly attractive women that a young man can see today is vastly greater than any man could see in his lifetime, in go back several decades and before that, like.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we make these things that used to be so special to see, waterfalls, boobs, uh just a really neat dog, uh a lightning strike, even, like you look at
Yeah.
these things, and when they're so easy to come by, it's, I don't know, it's less
They're
neat.
they're not though, right? Those things are not actually any easier to come by. You can see a cute dog on the internet, but you can't pet it or pick it up, right? You can see, women in porn, but you can't. I mean, first of all, you can't fuck them.
You can try.
But I mean, sure. Uh, but that's a whole other thing where whenever you engage with something like that, you're engaging with it in one dimension, right? Uh, if you see a porn star, right? If you met that porn star face to face, you fully wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't even know how to talk to them because you have never registered them as a fucking fully fledged human, right? You've only seen them in the context of more or less being a sex object.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think that's a significant reason for why incels are a thing, is because they interact with women only through the lens of pornography, and so all of their associations become about sex, and they can't interact with a woman without that. So not like more than a subtext, right? If you go meet a woman at a bar, there's a certain subtext of the potential for sex there. Uh, but when you fucking only see women through the lens of sex, you can only see them through the lens of sex.
And
And then,
I'll say, I think a disconnect that happens there with people is the not understanding the difference between just the perception on the phone, the screen, the
Mm-hmm.
virtual, and the actual interaction, the experientiality of life.
Yeah. So going along with the talking about like how often you can see things, right? So we talk about social media being bad and stuff, and I think it's incredible because social media, at least in my eyes, was supposed to be like your life, post your life and stuff, and it devolved into this: how many followers can you get, or how many likes can you get, or whatever you can get. to get this number game to go up because everyone likes to see a number scroll upwards. So you look at a social media account, like you look at the majority of like influencers or whatever they're called. You scroll through their Instagram or you scroll through their Facebook, right? Their life is perfect. They have super nice cars. They eat super healthy, pretty meals. They're always having fun at night clubs or whatever. It's all the good stuff, right? And like Jordan Peterson talks about it, there's the filter of social media gets rid of all of the life part and shows you what everyone dreams of having. And it creates this, the more you see it, it creates this illusion that either my life should be like that, and if it's not, I'm doing something wrong, or like all life is like that, and why is my life not, right? So, and I feel like that could be translated to anything. You talk about seeing attractive women in porn, right? Or like these crazy experiences people have, right? Because there's some crazy shit on the internet. Or watching a dozen romance movies or romance Hallmark movies. Why isn't all romance like that? Or, it creates this weird false view of what life is like. Not saying I know everything about life, but it's definitely not a Hallmark movie when you come to relationships. It's definitely not, a Brazzers video every time you have sex with someone, right?
Are the two different?
It's not like I'm not fucking sitting on a beach, getting a gorgeous tan with my six pack because I made a couple $100 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that part of life. I'm sorry, I don't know how to word it. Needs to be scaled in a different way, right? I feel like it holds such a big part on other people's lives, especially the younger and younger you get, the ease of access to these things, that it's almost like indescribable how people look far away at different lives and think that's what life is. Life is what's around you, the people you put around you, people you interact with, actually interact, right? Because I'm sure the three of us have had differences at times. Life isn't all smooth sailing. It is literally about, I would say it's more about the bad times so that you enjoy the good times.
Yeah, it's definitely important to have that balance so you can appreciate good times and appreciate bad times and just appreciate times for what they are.
Spoken like true submariners.
Yeah.
So, social media, I feel like personally everybody I talk to has a negative outlook on social media.
Mm-hmm. This has also devolved friendship.
Well, full circle. But I still have one. I don't really go on it, but I still have one. I have a Reddit account. I browse through Reddit and look at cool shit. I have an iFunny account, and I scroll through memes and super fucked up shit.
You don't scroll anymore, you swipe.
Sure. Scrolling is just turned sideways. So, I can acknowledge all these things that we talk about to be true, but yet I still, to some degree, succumb to it.
Oh, alcohol will kill you, right?
Yeah.
One of the deadliest drugs. Alcohol withdrawals will physically cause you to die, but you can still drink and not die, right? Many things are very bad for you in excess, and social media is one of them. Kept in the frame down there as a tool to occasionally connect with people and see how people are doing, perfectly fine. It's a good it's a good tool. It's when people take using social media to, post about their life and see other people's lives, when social media starts to become more of your life.
Mm-hmm.
fucking Meta, dude.
Yeah, so
Like the company. Uh, and that's when it gets unhealthy, right? Is when your life starts to revolve around social media, and that's where you're getting your validation and your self-esteem.
I think it's even worse now for younger kids too.
Yeah, well, because that's so much of the norm is being on social media all the time because socialization is so important as a kid, as a teenager, and a teenager. I think that I think Facebook came out when I was in 8th or ninth grade, and MySpace before that. So all of us, we kind of, now that I think about it, we got kind of a unique experience that probably won't happen again, where we got to experience being a kid without any social media and then with social media. And I think that, as well as progressing into adulthood and seeing the effects of that on our peers and the people below us, has given us a pretty like a pretty good take on it overall. You know what I mean? Like the ability to identify what is not good about it.
More exposed to both sides of that experiences to have more perspective on it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Wild. But it helps us stay in touch with friends.
It's true. I often find myself becoming a little guilty when I don't reach out to friends, you guys included. And I don't know if that is a guilt that comes from that idea of, seeing on through anything, through social media, through popular culture, how interconnected friends are and can be, or if I just look back at our lives and see how connected we used to be, and I don't know what it is, but I don't know if guilt is the right thing to feel in that, or if I should just feel more of like a longing to be connected again and just reach out.
I think it's a longing. That's how I feel. So,
I mean, does the guilt prevent you from reaching out?
Not with most, but sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I feel like, I've been kind of a inattentive friend or a bad friend for not reaching out, and it sort of makes me feel like it may be awkward now if I reach out, or it may bring up bad feelings.
So yeah, I mean, where do you think that expectation comes from?
I have no idea. I have no idea because like I've talked to both of you about how I grew up. I went on that huge 4-hour tangent underway to you, Vic, about that freaky deaky house that I used to live in spontaneously. I had a kind of a weird upbringing when it came to like social situations, so I don't know if it's I have a more of a desire to have friends because I didn't have that growing up as much, uh, or what it is. That's my first like gut thought, is that it's something like that, but even then I have no clue. I also think that for me personally, I have a lot of issues with memory, and I don't know how much you guys remember from the bow stuff. But like, I'm finding myself like looking back 5 years now, even to like after I joined the Navy, and there are just huge swaths of time where I have no memories of.
That'd be a different issue altogether, my
Well,
friend.
sure, but like, and so I think that
We got sundowners.
What?
Sundowners. Are you not familiar? What an interesting mental illness. So it's like Alzheimer's, but it doesn't require Alzheimer's to happen. Sundowners is basically you reach a certain age As you age, your brain kind of shrinks and dries out, right? It gets old with you because all of you ages. And you become less good at dealing with everything. So sundowners is a mental disorder that results in people becoming like confused and disoriented and agitated at night because like their capacity for day's events has ended before the day has ended. So they go a little crazy.
Oh,
man.
wow.
That would suck.
That would suck. I'm
Your
not.
bedtime would just have to get earlier every single day.
Oh man, that would be terrible. Hold on to that. But yeah, that's a whole other problem I have to deal with. But like, I don't know if that's like I feel guilty about not being connected because then I start to forget interactions that we had. And so I've definitely already found like a few people that I used to hang out with and in Prototype. I have like they also came back to Prototype and I've interacted with them, but it took me a little bit because I didn't remember. I didn't remember them at all, or two, I didn't remember how much we interacted, so I didn't know if they would remember me if it was just like a passing acquaintance kind of thing. So I didn't initiate talking with them, and when I finally did because we were forced to from like a group project, I asked if they remember, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking?" Of course I do. I'm wondering why you haven't talked to me. And it's weird because I don't remember.
I mean, that's my memory is also not great, but I don't remember people from Prototype, and I don't think that's weird. Prototype is a situation where you're under a lot of stress pretty constantly, dealing with.
I'll say, is it that you don't remember people from Prototype or people that you like interacted with and like hung out with outside of work?
Oh, I don't do that.
Okay, that's fair.
I think it also has to do with the nature of our jobs that we're in, because
Low oxygen.
low oxygen,
The
bad
fires,
sleep.
yeah.
Bad sleep. No, just the volume of people that you become attached to, whether it is like true friendship, right? I would say we are all true friends, or like the scrubbly kid that you trained for like 6 months before you left. You could barely remember his name, but in the time you knew it, you talked to him every single day. You created some connection with him.
I don't remember his name.
See,
I blazed off his whole lower level card. I don't remember his name.
there's like, at least for me, right? Because I can think back to like Power School, Prototype, and I can think of like my core group of people I hang out with every day, and then there was like an outer group, like those people I interacted with a bunch, but none of their names. Maybe a face. Maybe if you showed me a picture, I could go like, where I know that dude, but I know that dude. We just cycle out of these pretty meaningful interactions and relationships with people so often that there's no way you would be able to keep up, especially it was your first 2 years in the Navy. There's a potential for you to have a whole different class of friends that you hung out with or hung out around, right? Like every 6 months, right? 6 months, or 3, 6, and 6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
And then you go to a boat, and then you show up, and you might get attached to C-Dad or whatever, and be good friends with him and like people around him, and they all leave. And then there's us. We all around the same time come together, get that really close knit, like went through this shit, and then we move up, and then there's Scrubblies who are all varying levels of I don't really know you. Like I could probably tell you where Cairo's from, but I can't tell you where. I can tell you where Ben's from. Correction. I can't tell you where fucking. Well, I didn't even know his name. The last guy that showed up before I left. I got nothing.
Reiner?
No. Next one. Lower level, mouthy,
Cruz?
big boy, Cruz.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's from.
Okay. You don't know where Cruz Nieves is from. He would never... What?
You better watch out.
He would never shut the fuck up about it.
Texas?
Puerto Rico. Every 15 minutes he'd tell you he's from Puerto Rico.
I probably yelled at him, and I still don't know anything.
Clearly, you needed it, Gabe. If he hadn't told you, you wouldn't remember.
Yeah, your memory is pretty rough. But yeah, so I think just the sheer volume of the Navy plus our stressful job, like, there's no way you can remember. And everyone has to deal with it differently. Like, I wouldn't say I don't remember periods of. I can tell you my life in all periods of time. I cannot tell you everyone I was with at all those periods, if that makes sense.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, on the boat, you want to talk about, like, night shift and stuff? There were so many sections of days and nights and, like, moving around. I cannot tell you. I can tell you, yeah, this month during this PRBT, I was nights. No idea who I was with.
I do remember like interactions from that, but yeah, same thing. I actually told someone recently the story of Crab 9/11 with Vic on on the boat after we stole a bunch of fake crab.
I still tell. You told me the story of
9/11?
what?
Crab 9/11.
I heard you. I remember stealing the crab. I don't remember it being crab 9/11.
Oh, you remember when you took the giant dead blow and just started smashing the crab in the middle of the bunk room on the deck, and you called it Crab 9/11?
No, not even a little. I totally remember none of that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I feel less bad about my
Yeah.
memory now. That is a core memory for me.
I gotta ask. Hold up. I haven't asked you yet. Do you guys sit around and tell sea stories with all these other sea story guys?
No. I get
I tell sea stories
aggravated.
to the same people like every day.
Remember how I said at work I look around and see if anybody else is there and they're not, so I leave?
Yeah.
Aren't you the only military guy there? You have like one guy above you or one chief there? Yeah.
So no.
Well, we all know you guys got the good jobs and I got the shit.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think
Like the 50th stupidest thing I've ever heard you say.
The 50th? Oh, God,
Yeah.
I don't know what the
that's
first
pretty
is.
up there.
That's just some dumb shit, so
Top 10 all just kind of blend together.
into a fucking blind rage of fuck this dude.
I think your number one might have anything to do with the gravity drain check valve.
Shut up. I knew that was coming. It had to come
That's
up.
not my job might be number one.
That's not my job. Oh man.
I think we can call it there. I've had a lot of fun with this. I think we've
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we answered the question at all.
I think we talked about the topic. I'm not here to answer questions. I don't even know the questions being asked, let alone the
I have
answers.
fucking questions.
You have questions? Well, that's perfect. We got a podcast going. We'll ask more questions next time.
Yeah.
I forgot my
Skip
question.
it.
Fuck. All right, well, I forgot how we like log off of this thing, so it's been
Oh,
fun.
it's easy.
Of course.
That was really good. Yeah, it's been fun. We're getting back into this. Next time when I prepare more, we'll have better, sign off and sign on and things in that nature. But this was life, death, and everything in between. This has been Gabe, Zach, and what was Vic. Thanks for tuning in.